Okay. We're good. Okay. So, hello viewers. I couldn't make a video in time last week. It's getting a little bit difficult, what with the whole family living here, all 7 of us. Of course, I forgot to count beforehand, so 5, 6. Plus the dogs makes 8. So yeah, 6 people, 2 dogs. 8. 8 mammals. Let's go with that. Let's go with 8 mammals. And so, of course I didn't get a time when the house was free enough for me to make my video last week. This week I do have time, so I'm making it now as opposed to making it later. So, I finally found a place where I don't have terrible, horrendous backlight on me, so you can actually see my face and my claws, because for some reason I'm using claws and it... Just pull the sleeve out a little bit more. So anyway, the last week's one, and I suppose this week's one as well, is Mods. Mods is a British teenager young adult trend started in London in 1960. Working class people with stylized dress and short hair listened to rhythm music, whatever the heck that is, and rode around on motor scooters. Upon reading that in my dictionary, that's right, that's my dictionary said, actually twice under the word mods, that's what it said that was, so who knew? Exactly. So that does sound somewhat interesting, so if I can find out what rhythm music is and get myself a motor scooter, I think that would be pretty interesting thing to at least try out, at least for a little while. But another word for mods is, take for instance, 48. No, I didn't have a marker, so 48. A mod is an integer that can be divided between 2 other integers without a remainder. So like 48 is my favorite one of them, because it's 1 and 48, 2 and 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12, or of course, 6 and 8. That's 10 different numbers that can be divided into 48, resulting in a different number. That's 10 different integers that can be divided into 48, resulting in another integer. Of course, I'm only counting the whole numbers in there because, well, for one thing, 0 is not an option when dividing by, so it is, but I don't want to destroy the universe again today, so natural numbers, it has 10. Of course, 1 in itself are always them. So of course, some numbers like 3, they only have the 1 in themselves. Some numbers like 4 have like 1 and 4, as well as 2. 8 has 1, 2, 4, and 8. So on, have a 1. This was actually a bit of a trouble, because I totally forget the name, and this is going off track what I had meant to plan on. But some integers, well, let's go with just numbers, let's just call them numbers. Some numbers can be divided only by themselves and 1. Again, natural numbers. Natural numbers can be only divided by themselves and by 1. However, and some numbers can be divided by themselves, 1, and at least one other number in between. What about 1? 1 can be divided by itself and 1, but that's the same number. So 1 can be divided by 1 and 1. So technically, it can only be divided by one number, so it wouldn't fall into either group. However, as this was actually like 3, 4, 7 years ago in class, we learned about these. All numbers are either this or this. And then, so you're on a test, what about 1? It's like, well, it can be divided by itself and by 1, so it's this. And then the teacher is like, no, it's this other thing. Or she said it was like nothing, or something like that. Isn't that just very annoying when teachers, when they come up with a question on a test that they know that you won't know the answer to, but they're like, yeah, just put it in anyway. They won't get it and it will lower their self-esteem, so maybe they won't get in so much. There's rambunctiousness. So much trouble. Trouble, heck of a board game. However, I'm not the only one who lost most of their pieces to the Trouble board game, am I? Because every time I see someone's board game with Trouble, it's missing at least some pieces. Even when you like go to a hotel, and they usually have a couple of board games there, for like in there. Oh look, Trouble! I haven't played that in ages. Yeah, it only has 10 of the 20 pieces. So okay, we're playing. Okay, I get 2, you get 2, you get 3, and you get 3. That seems about fair. Yeah. Or 5 and 5. That's also good. So anyway. Remember when I was young, remember about 10 years ago when there were only 151 Pokemon? The very first one ever thought up was actually Rhydon, even though Bulbasaur is number 1. And missing note, because they always say that's 151 Pokemon for Generation 1, even though technically in Pokemon's Red and Blue, who for the Game Boy Color, right? Yes, Color. There are technically 152, 153 Pokemon. Pokemon slot number 0, missing no, or M. Technically 2 different Pokemon, and in actuality, if you manage to catch M, make sure it's not a game that you want to keep or anything, because I've had some serious troubles with my blue version catching a ton of missing no. Including, like, level 1s, level 255s, like, just... That would be so awesome, though, just... blasting away, level 255. You can't, Clefable, that's because of what I chose my name, Clefable. Level 255, Clefable. Now, if you catch an M, then it will, when it evolves, turn into Kangaskhan, resulting in the whole Cubone, Kangaskhan, Kangaskhan, whatever, conspiracy theory, that Cubone was supposed to turn into either Marowak or Kangaskhan, depending on whether or not the mother died. And I think that would be very interesting. If, say, Pokemon was a thing not so much for kids, and Pokemon actually could die in the game, then if you have a Kangaskhan, and then when the Kangaskhan dies, the child turns into a Cubone, and then into a Marowak, and I think that would be very interesting. Anyone with me on this? Because, oh no, my Pokemon's dead, but now I have a new one that you can only get by killing the Kangaskhan. And of course, then there'll be people killing off the Kangaskhan to get Cubone and then Marowak, because Marowak would then be somewhat rare then. So anyway, I have like a life-size stuffy of Meowth. Rah, rah, rah. As you can tell, I have quite the collection of stuffies. And yeah, only a very few Pokemon stuffies, though. I have Meowth and DFTBA.